How y'all doing? It's Judge Lynn. What's happening? The other day, I didn't come here yesterday because I was getting my act together, and I tell you what, I was getting my act together in about a second. But the day before, I came on here and I said I was cranky because I was, and that I wasn't going to dispense any advice because I was cranky and didn't want to get involved in my own personal crank. And I told everybody I didn't know why I was cranky, which was true. So yesterday, I realized I woke up and I was catching a cold. I was catching a cold. And then I realized why I was cranky, because when I catch a cold, right before I catch a cold, I get ravenously hungry. And I hadn't eaten, so I was hangry. And I was getting sick, which also makes me cranky because I never realize I get sick until I'm really, really sick. But I figured it out yesterday that, oh, that's what the oysters were about. Remember, I had to have some oysters. Just had to have some, and I did. I went to the Blue Water Grill. They had these. We had 12 Blue Points and 12, I think, Izakis. They had won for the best oysters from West Coast this year. And it was delicious. Do you hear me? Delicious. And so yesterday I spent all day fighting that cold by, doing all the things. So I'm pretty much think I got that sucker beat back. But it is hilarious what some of y'all took to. Look at that. You see all my trash, but then you see that other trash. Y'all took to this thing and talked about the state of my soul, my distance from God. You talked about, well, she's cranky and because her husband was her calm, and now she is exhibiting behaviors or something as a function thereof. He died 3 years ago, so you gotta give me some credit for just having an emotion. And it's like that is my pet peeve. It is getting $1 worth of opinion out of 10 cents worth of information. That makes you borrow 90 cents of I don't know at an incredibly high interest rate. Because you don't know. I was catching a cold and didn't know. But just that's what we do. Even it just took me out when CBS said we're going to spend less time with experts and more time talking to the average person. Now, I don't want to hear from the average person about something medical or legal or anything like that. I'd like to hear from the experts. But we've come to a time where, a platform and an opinion, and you can roll. And I got a platform and 90 million opinions. And I'm rolling with that, but I ain't got an opinion. I'm not a news show. I'm a chick in a living room surrounded by homes that she's trying to build to keep herself busy. So anyway, don't get all opinionated. That was uncomfortable. Don't get all opinionated. Wait, hang back, stay loose. Don't assume. I had a phone call with somebody the other day, and I was testing him out to see if he would be appropriate for this particular position I needed. And he jumped to 3 conclusions in our conversation. He said, well, you need to. And I said, I don't, I can't do that. You need to do this, you need to do that. And you don't have enough details. I know what I'm talking about, that kind of thing. And he was an expert in his field, but he didn't listen long enough to propose the things he was proposing. And uber opinionated people can't work for me because I get excited and upset. I'm so sorry. I'm aching all over, and I'm trying to get comfortable that I'm not doing a very good job. Somebody asked me if the show All Black called Judge Me Not is biographical. There is a show on All Black called Judge Me Not. And I never said much about it because it came out, it was being finished, being posted and put together, edited, and then came out right around the time that Eric died. So it just kind of receded into the back of my my consciousness. But it's on All Black, which is it's a network that's a cousin to We or something, I don't know. And it's not autobiographical, but it is loosely based on, like a lot of stuff that goes on in Judge Me Not at home with the father was kind of like how my home life was, but not the boyfriend or anything like that else. And being a young judge in just in a municipal court, that's based on me too. But it's loosely based, and I apologize for all the curse words and the too much sex. I was otherwise occupied and didn't speak. I didn't get to. But anyway, it's still a good story. Bit of a mystery. I enjoyed it, but anyway, I enjoyed my own stuff. Well, you have to. If I don't like you, I can't pass it along. So there you go with that. And I have two new people in Sonali's room. It's Sexy Legal 36. And Lachelle Goggins. I hope I got that right. Lachelle Goggins or Lachelle Go. I don't know, but welcome. Now in Sonali's room, what we do is we get together and we give each other advice, information. We've talked about it. We talked about our New Year's resolutions and our some of you wrote report cards on yourself based upon my report card. Did an outstanding job, and it was a great way for us to review our year in 2025 because we're going to get better and better and better. And this year, this week, we'll do the live on December. Now see, I just said December. I'm looking at my calendar. January 11th at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's Sunday, January 11th, go live for Dear Sonali. I'm going to start putting that stuff up in the banner because I think that's going to be time for it. And then I also going to have a personalized video just for Sonali's room people, based in part on what we talk about in the live sometime in the middle of next week. So those are the two perks. And also in Sonali's room, I will have on there an email just for y'all to send me questions and stuff like that. Now, in general, if you want to send me questions, all you got to do is click on the link tree down there. And it'll send me, and it'll have say, Ask Judge Lynn, and you can send me a question on that house. So, yeah. We all know I can't do nothing with my hair. It's not news. It's just true. So, I was kidding the other day, talking about, well, I was only half kidding. I was in the emergency room with one of my kids, and this woman had this skin fade and just a shock of hair going here, and I thought it was wonderful. But she said with the skin fade, you have to go to the barber a lot because, it grows out so quickly. And I'm trying to keep from messing with my hair, so I suggested I go bald. Well, Eleanor Gaines didn't think it was a good idea. So in case I got crazy, she sent me that. And if that wasn't enough, and I was stubborn and crazy, she sent me this to let me know that may not be the move. Now, it would be my hope that my head would not be that big up under my hair, because I have a small head. I have a child's head. I can't wear, like, grown folk hats. But anyway, that tickled me so, but anyway. Did you see me walking out there looking like that? Oh my goodness, if my mother would rise up out of her grave and come and smack me. I went around looking like that. So Eleanor, thank you so much for your input. Another reason I was cranky, because I was in between houses. I did not time my houses correctly. Now I'm in the middle of Big Bob over there. And I don't like Big Bob because Big Bob is not interesting to me. Now, I still got Big Boy over there. That's not Big Bob. That's Basic Bob. This is Big Boy. And I'm still working. I'm still finishing up some stuff on there. Then over here there is I don't know if you can see it. but there's a 6-bedroom apartment unit over there. There's a little Lynn. There's what I used to call contemporary Candace, but now I call it Bill Way because that's my father's name. And but for the fact that he in 1919 and was born in 1919 and was an incredible lawyer and did great by his family back in the day when it was hard to do. None of this would have happened, so I named it after him. I still have my disco over there. Not disco. You can tell my age, right? Disco. A club over there that I don't like. I bought people to put in the club, but the people were too small. I didn't watch. I did the scale, and now I'm working on this bad boy right here. This is a new modern of the same ilk as Contemporary Candace or One Bill Way, as it were. So there's where we are on that. I got down here trying to catch me howling at the moon. I was unrelated to this. I was feeling pressured by something. And when I call people trying to make me crazy, I say they're trying to make me howl at the moon. So I'm not howling at the moon for you. That kind of thing. I don't know why I think that's so funny, but I don't think it's funny. That's how I see it. I say, you're not going to make me howl at the moon. I'm going to be rational and reasonable now how ridiculous you show up. And if you're emotional and all jazzed, I mean, I feel for you because I'm often that way myself, but don't be conducting business all in your feelings like that. It's weird. And you will not make me howl at the moon. You possibly could at one time in my life, but not now. I'm too old, too settled. There was a time I never would have said that. So anyway, someone keeps telling me to say subscribe and hit notify. I wish you would subscribe and hit notify and ask me questions. Although you do ask me a lot of questions, and I try to get the good ones and the ones that will work for everyone. But anyway, that's where we are. That's what I'm doing. I feel like I'm forgetting something. But if I do, I'll do it short. Y'all have a good day. Behave yourselves. Get out there, act like you got some sense. And don't go out there making other people howl at the moon. That's, did you hear not too long ago, a father of thief was shot dead in a parking lot over the parking space. And Ali Sadiq does a bit about, his daughter saying he was soft because he didn't want to fight a guy over a parking space. And he says, no, it says, that shows you the level of my spirit. I will fight for you, but I'm not willing to die over a parking space. It ain't backing down, walking away, ain't a loss if it's something dumb that could cause you harm. And people out there are howling at the moon on the regular. They say they ain't, but they are. So get out there and act like you're sensible. Be cool, be calm. Don't get crazy. Don't lead with your emotions. Lead with your logic. And that takes time. Let the first wave pass you by. Anyway, listen, y'all have a good day. I'm going to try to.